And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Quit smiling over there, Smiley. Today we're here to preview Week 12 of FCS football. We're talking Montana State versus UC Davis. We're talking Tarleton versus Abilene Christian. And of course, it's Thursday night. We're going to be traveling tomorrow morning to Montana. So Montana listeners, if you want to catch up with us, let us know. We had a couple people reach out. I got to follow back up with those people. Going to be grabbing some beers on Friday night. Going to be chopping it with people during tailgating. Make sure you come find us. You'll see the largest human being you've ever seen, and then one of the daintiest individuals that you would not guess would have played college football walking next to him. Sean, can you share? What do you give me that face?
I don't like you calling yourself dainty.
I feel like that's how you would describe me.
No, frail.
Frail? Yeah, it's not bad.
Bet online, world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting. Lord knows when I'm sitting on the tarmac in my middle seat on the way to Denver, I will be making my bets at Bet Online. All my weekend plays, all my college football plays, I'm going to have to punch them in right then and there. Make sure I got them locked and loaded. And you want to do that also. Get in on it early. BetOnline's first to the punch with all their lines. They're always the tastiest. You don't want to have to sit there and wait until it's right before game time. You got a worse line. No, go to BetOnline now. Get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Okay, all right. We've got a game that you went a lot shorter on that than I was expecting. I was trying to entertain myself during the read.
I thought you were pulling a Gresh on me where
what?
All the distraction stories.
No, I was trying to. I get distracted when you do the read, so I was trying to play Subway Surfer videos while you were talking.
I thought you were actually playing Subway Surfers on your iPhone.
No, that was just a Subway Surfer video.
It should be harder for you to maneuver the internet during the shows.
Yeah,
I don't like that you have key accessibility right now.
Yeah, like I'm an iPad toddler right now with this thing in front of me. All right, Montana State versus UC Davis. UC Davis coming off of the big win that they had against Montana, and Montana State, we know that they have been a wagon so far this year. This game has massive implications. We're going to talk a little bit about the playoff picture for both of these squads after this game is played. But right now, you can't ignore the way that Montana State has dominated their stretch of games in the Big Sky. We know that Scottree Humphrey and Adam Jones have been so dominant on the ground, and that defense has been so stout, only allowing 16.5 points per game. They step into an arena where they will see the 4th best passing offense led by and also supported by Land Larison, who's dominant on the ground. Sean, how do you see this game playing out?
Yeah, I'm embarrassed that last week I called Montana versus UC Davis possible game of the year when the week after following suit is game of the year.
Although last week's game was entertaining. It just didn't.
It was, but it's not Montana State,
yeah.
UC Davis. It's not Miles Hastings versus Tommy Mellott. It's not an offense where Tommy Mellott has 10 rush touchdowns. Scottree Humphrey, 4th in the nation of rush yards, 13 touchdowns on the ground, by the way. Adam Jones, 7 touchdowns. And Julius Davis is another beast in the backfield. Like, they have 4 dudes that can run, that can break one at any possible moment. And then UC Davis has maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the FCS this year, and maybe the best running back in the FCS this year, in a year where the running back position is loaded. So if you want to see the pinnacle of FCS defenses and brick fighting, go rewatch the Marker game. If you want to see pure, beautiful offense in the rushing form and in the passing sense, watch this game. Watch all of it. Even if it's sloppy, it's going to be beautiful because it's going to be chess. It's not going to be a Pioneer League checkers game. No offense, Pioneer League, but there's levels to it. And these two teams, it's my two
all offense. By the way, hold on, all offense Pioneer.
All right,
all offense Pioneer League.
That's from DeLeone, the Pioneer League hater. But me, I am so thrilled that I get to see these two offenses while they're at the top of their game of the season. I mean, I couldn't pick a week where I think that either team would be stronger on either side of the ball.
Right. I think that's what makes this game like really compelling to pay attention to because, well, one, there's no goofy quarterback rotation that we're dealing with. We know what both these teams' identities are offensively, and we know the productivity that they've been able to produce so far this year. It's which run game takes over, which defense is able to stand up and stop the opposing explosive offense. One thing that I lean heavily in favor of Montana State for, and it's what's carried them so far this year to be the best scoring offense in the country with that 42.8 points per game that they've mustered, it's the ability to turn to different hands. That's what's going to make them so dangerous on this playoff run. We typically see a lot of times with years where North Dakota State's been dominant, where South Dakota State a little bit less because they've had Pierre Strong solely that they've leaned on and Isaiah Davis that they've solely leaned on and had secondary backs. But the best teams in the SEC oftentimes have multiple players that they can rely on to produce for them. So if something happens with Adam Davis, you lean on Scottree Humphrey. If something happens with just both backs and they can't pick up any ground, then you can use Tommy Mellott in read option situations to create for himself because he is that good of an athlete, and he's been a pretty steady passer so far this year as well. I have to lean Montana State here. I think that UC Davis has been fun. They've been scrappy. They've been tough on defense, but Montana State is just on another level.
There are a couple of reasons why I think Montana State will win this one, and it's not because UC Davis is +6 turnover margin, which is great, and that's something that championship teams need to have. You can't win a championship with a negative turnover margin, in my opinion. I'm sure it's happened at least once before, but consistency would be more possessions on the offense than defense. UC Davis has also allowed 17 sacks on the year. That's not great. On the flip side, Montana State, only 9 on the season. They're keeping their boy upright. I know he's not dropping back for a ton of passes. His typical attempts are under 20 per game, but also if the shoe fits and you're running the rock down someone's throat, why would you change that at this point? It's also indicative of Montana State that they're going to hold the ball longer because they do run the ball more. And even if they are breaking out huge chunk plays, the average time of possession for them, they're crushing their opponents. They're averaging 33 minutes per game holding that ball. So it just leans, everything says Montana State. While it may seem homerish because I ranked them number 1 for 8 straight weeks, it's not. They're a legit contender. And I think UC Davis is also, but they're just not as complete. It's been a top 3 all season. UC Davis is the best number 4 that I've seen all season. They usurped South Dakota, in my opinion. If those two teams played, I'd take UC Davis 8 times out of 10. But I think Montana State's in just above in a better class. They're an A, while UC Davis may be an A-.
Now, I'm no mathematician here, but from my understanding, the winner of this game effectively wins the Big Sky. So this is our Big Sky championship, the way that this game is being played, because they're both 6-0 in conference. The winner of this game, if they were to drop their following week's game, they would both end up finishing 7-1, and said winner would then have the tiebreaker. So this game decides who wins the Big Sky. But I'm going to take that a step further. I think regardless of outcome, unless this is a blowout in one direction, I think that both of these teams are going to be seeded. Like, I really would be shocked if we don't see Montana State and UC Davis both earning a seed.
Yeah, you're no mathematician, but you do look like a magician. And here's what I'll say.
What the fuck?
The glasses. The magician beard. If UC Davis hangs on close.
Well, that wasn't even clever.
Yeah, just threw it out there.
Oh, my God.
Look, you can't get a hit just looking at the ball go by you, all right?
That one was in the dirt and you swung at it.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Look, I'm not going to, barring a 40-point catastrophic loss and multiple injuries for UC Davis, they're likely not going to drop out of my top 10. They probably won't drop out of my top 7 because of how good they are, how strong their resume has been, and how talented and that the team is. Not just on offense, but on defense. It's even if Montana State wins, they're strong enough to be seeded. I don't see enough from the 7 to 12 range. I don't see teams that are just going to just catapult into a seeded position. It is a team, if they hold on, they take a loss, they win out, I think they deserve one of the top 4.
Absolutely. I think it could be kind of like, I just had it pulled up. It could be kind of like last year. Let's see if I can re-pull that up, if I can move quickly enough. Last year where Montana was the 2 seed and Idaho was the 4 seed.
Yeah.
I could totally see a situation here.
I'd be comfortable with that.
Yeah, where Montana State could be the 1 seed, they could be the 2 seed, and then we could have UC Davis as the 4 seed, or they certainly also could be a 5. I forgot that last year that we had 3 Big Sky teams that were seeded programs, because we had Montana State, we had Montana, and we had Idaho. So there's a lot of room for that. I sincerely doubt that both of these squads, regardless of outcome, will not receive seeded opportunities. Now, this conference, this team in this conference, Jesus, these 2 teams that are playing, we're talking about a transition here. Holy crap. These teams are playing for the conference. Tarleton versus ACU, future Grimace Conference members. We're drafting a proposal for them. So if anyone knows who we could reach out to, anybody, a janitor at either of those schools, somebody who works in the pro shop, whatever it is, anybody, somebody will hear our pitch. We'll just get on the phone. We're going to start making phone calls.
I pitched an SID this week at a job, an unnamed that I will leave unnamed FCS SID.
Oh,
very grumpy on the phone. I'll tell you more about it off air.
Wait, what?
But there was an FCS sports information director that got a call from Sean Anderson for a possible guest booking, and I was met with thorns.
Why? Because you called?
They were not having the premise of why I called.
Oh,
it is not Grimace Conference, but I think I was trying to use
Are they
the
purple?
manners. I'm not giving any hints, Joseph. I'm not going to let.
Well, if they're purple, we're going to have to call them back.
No,
we got to get on the phone.
This team, okay, they were not purple,
Okay.
but they were not having what I was selling. But the Purple Conference, the Grimace Conference, everything at stake for them this week.
Yes, we don't recognize the United Football Conference. Your airplane ass stupid conference. Whoever's the commissioner, we don't believe in you. We just need 5 minutes though. We just need 5 minutes of your time.
That's not going to help us out, man.
You just crapped all over
You
them.
think that's going to get us any
just give a couple minutes. Just give us a go. We're definitely not going to try to unseat you as the commissioner. We just need you to give us, the keys, and then just, step aside, and we'll take care of it. Tarleton versus ACU, though. This is a super important game. Tarleton and ACU have respectively been very consistent, very steady throughout this season. Tarleton has been very stout on defense, while ACU has been prolific on offense. We're all Maverick MacGyver fans, not only for his name, but also for his Walter Payton consideration for these stupid stats that he's put up this year. What do you think about this matchup between Tarleton and Abilene Christian?
I've been ringing the bell for Kayvon Britton at Tarleton all year, and rightfully so. Nearly 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's great. But let me tell you about a couple unsung heroes on this Abilene Christian team real quick that have gotten buried under number 1 passing yardage leader in the FCS, Maverick MacGyver. That's running back Sam Hicks and running back Isaiah Johnson, both over 600 rush yards of the year. Sam Hicks over 800 yards, and they both have over 10 touchdowns. Hicks has 11, Johnson has 10. Are you kidding me? With that offense and the way that they can pass, why can they pass so good? Why are the receivers always open in single coverage? Why do they keep loading the box? Well, because they got 2 dudes that can carve you up on the inside. It's a balanced offense that is strong. And Sean, we'll take your tip this week. I'll get my guys ready. We'll make sure to lock up those guys. Good luck. You got Blaine Taylor and Nehemiah Martinez, the first outside bossing up.
Best name in sports.
It is a nightmare offense to have to cover. I don't envy any defensive coordinators. This is a game where secretly you're telling your team, hey guys, we're in it. Let's shut them down. Let's lock them down. Back of your mind, you're thinking, just only give up a touchdown a quarter. If that's what happens, then we're rolling, we're doing good, because we also know ACU, if they're scoring 36 points a game, then they're also giving up 31. And that means that if we can stay around and just get them a little bit under their average, then we can do it. Because I think Tarleton has the chance. decent enough quarterback, very good running back. It's going to be an entertaining one.
Now, Tarleton's got their own offensive prowess led by Kayvon Britton, who's got 1,495 yards and 15 touchdowns. He has been an ass kicker on the ground. Darius Cooper hasn't gotten much recognition for a guy who's on the cusp of having 1,000 yards this year with 848 and 6 touchdowns. And their D-line's been pretty strong. A.J. Owens, Brandon Tolbert, both have 4 sacks. I believe Owens is 4.5. They're really good on defense. 14 team interceptions was one thing that really stood out to me. I was like, holy crap, they're producing a lot of turnovers. Almost thought it was a misprint. Maybe it is. We're just going to go with it. They have been so productive at turning over opposing quarterbacks. Now, what gets really interesting, though, with this conversation for both these squads is Tarleton's defense has been awesome. ACU's offense has been awesome. But both opposite sides of the ball for those categories have cost them their 2 ugliest losses. So I'm talking about ACU giving up 47 points to North Alabama, and the Eastern Kentucky game that happened recently for Tarleton, where they only mustered 13 points. So what I ask here is, do we think that both squads show up enough that this game is a duke it out close type of a fight? Or do we think that there is going to be some sort of a separation where the ugly side of one team is going to show up? I lean that I think that Tarleton, their ugly side on offense, is going to peer its face here, and that Maverick MacGyver in this passing attack, which is even in that loss to NAU, UNA. I don't know. UNA. I gotta get learned on them because they're purple.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be a part of our deck that we're gonna be pitching on in Project Grimace. The point that I'm trying to make here is that they have, despite that ugly loss in some of their maybe weaker games, they've still put up a ton of points, and the Central Arkansas game is a reflection of that when they need to just flip the switch, put up a bunch of points in bunches and lean on Martinez the first, and Taylor's still so sick that he just goes by Martinez the first. With all of that in mind, I really think that ACU and their offense is going to take over here.
I'm going to speak for the hungover, Joe, if you don't mind, as someone who has been hungover once or twice before. I wouldn't mind if this was a blowout, because if I was hungover watching this game and it was tight and they're both wearing purple and one's in purple and purple and one's in white and purple, I wouldn't.
I don't mean to actually finish what you're saying. For sure.
I wouldn't mind if I knew that one team was demonstratively better than the other. Like if ACU went up and it was 38-7 in the third, which I don't think it's going to be, but if it was, I think I'd be able to track it a little bit better in that state. If I was soberly watching it, I would want to see what I think is likely going to happen. ACU winning by just over a score. And it could be some messy stuff that happens with Tarleton.
Love messy stuff.
This could be a madness game because you are playing for the 1 seed in the UAC, and we're not respecting EKU because they don't wear purple. So it's literally us two versus the rest of the conference.
It's a purple adjacent.
Oh, you know what?
Maroon. It's kind of purple adjacent.
Purple adjacent.
Oh, okay, wait. I know that I completely derailed you here. So these two teams have final games this year, next week. Guess who ACU is playing?
Oh, no. Is ACU playing North Alabama?
No, they're playing Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, great.
And guess who Tarleton's playing?
They would have to be subsequently playing North Alabama.
No, they're playing Central Arkansas.
Oh, no, I think it's fine.
We got purple on purple. The purple on purple. On purple. There's purple everywhere. And we got the purple turf. I think United, the Grimace Conference is going to, we need to get that Central Arkansas purple turf, but we need the whole thing to be purple. No lines. There's going to be no lines on the field. It's just going to be I might need to do this in NCAA 25. I might need to do this.
Here's what I think if the conference is going that way. I don't mind the stripes, but everyone has to have a different thing. If Central Arkansas wants to stay with the width stripes, I want UCA going with checkered in the end zone, purple and gray checkered. Everyone has to have
something purple.
Yeah, purple goalposts. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to go across the beaten path here. We're going to really have to lean into it. That is what is it called? Non-negotiable for the conference. Everyone, if you think it's silly, that's the point. Do you want to make money? Because you will. Bring your kids here. They're going to get overstimulated and throw up on the pavement because there's so much purple.
I'm so serious about this. We're going to get to picks in a second here. We did our interview with Tom Westersill in the off season, and we do like to do interviews with coaches and athletic directors. And we had talked about this upcoming off season. We were going to try and book a lot of athletic directors and also conference commissioners.
Oh yeah.
I think that we need to get every single conference commissioner on the show, and I think we need to pitch all of them on this terrible idea.
I think that some would be I know we can get D'Antonio back on, and we're going to have to arrange some type of trade for Albany into the conference, which we're going to have to figure out.
Yeah, well, that's how we'll open the conversation. Like Joe,
Hey,
Mr. D'Antonio here. We've got a pitch for you. We just need you to give us Albany because we need them for a project.
So okay, I like that. We're going to keep on. We're going to trade. Hey, would you take this trade? Albany for who would be useful? Albany for Austin P. Let's do a nice little flip flop here.
I don't know if regionally that one works.
Austin P's in Tennessee. It's not bad. You got.
What if we send them Utah Tech?
Oh, because that works regionally.
No, we'll send them West Georgia. West Georgia sucks.
oh, you're saying no? You don't want to send them West Georgia, bottom of the barrel for Albany, who was just in the playoffs last year. You have to send them someone respectable.
You need somebody that all the teams are going to approve of, that they can just kick the crap out of.
No, you need strong conference representative until we find some bad purple teams. St. Thomas, you could trade for a West Georgia.
So, really quickly though,
get a real meta right now.
I'm not going to try to diagnose this playoff situation because I'm a little bit confused. Tarleton's 5-1 in conference. Abilene's 6-1. Unless someone was slacking here, or this is a clerical error or something. Unless Tarleton wins this game, this is also a win the conference type of a matchup. But ACU has a leg up on them because they've played one more game.
One more FCS game. Hold on.
One more United Conference game.
Oh,
not one more FCS game. One more. They're 6-1 in conference. Tarleton's 5-1. This barnyard ass weak conference that wishes it was Project Grimace.
Is there a way that
they don't even uphold standards for how many games you got to play?
How do we have teams in the same?
What am I missing here? How is this possible?
How can teams play a different amount of?
Did they have
conference games?
They didn't have a game get canceled.
Portland State had a game canceled with who? Was that Whooping Cough?
Yeah, that was Whooping Cough, but that wasn't. So their UIC game says were North Alabama, Southern Utah, Utah Tech, Eastern Kentucky, West Georgia, and Abilene Christian. That's 6 games. I had to look at my hands to see what was 6 games.
As someone who's made fun of me for reading, possibly, which I don't, but you have said I'm someone that would read with their finger on the page. You're a finger counter, pal.
I'm just trying to talk and count at the same time. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to try and figure this one out. It's a play to win because effectively Tarleton wins. They would have the tiebreaker. They would be 6-1. Abilene Christian would be 6-2. They would need to hope for Abilene Christian to lose to SFA in their final game. And then the inverse of that is Tarleton. If they lose this game, I think Abilene has enough of a. They have enough of a lead. No,
this barnyard ass schedule.
Why
this conference isn't allowed
to do this?
You're only out of conference games are going to be against like Washington and TCU.
Yeah, this is effectively though not decided this week though. Just to clarify that. All right, let's get to FC estimates. I went 5-10. Sean went 7-10. You're running out of time here, brother.
Not if you keep on going 5-10.
We have 2 more weeks left.
Oh,
I just have to mirror.
We got playoffs.
I just have to mirror enough of your picks.
I dare you to mirror.
I pretty much mirrored all of your picks on this one.
Screw you. Then I'm gonna have to start switching up mid-show. Then.
Then that's how I win here. All right, Stony Brook versus UNH.
Stony Brook.
Give me Stony. South Dakota versus North Dakota.
South Dakota.
South Dakota. University of Incarnate Word versus SFA.
Incarnate word.
Give me Portland State versus Montana. Got to be one of the worst things that I do on the show.
Montana.
Phonetically, I don't think many people want to hear that noise. I'm going to take Montana. I hope Montana wins. I would like for our game to be exciting.
A note for the Montana fans.
Did anyone come after you this week after I told them to?
No, I'm going to. This is not me showing favor to Portland State. It's the only big jacket. I have a green jacket. I'm going to be wearing a big green jacket.
Oh,
and I'm not doing. I promise. I swear to God,
you can't wear the jacket.
It's going to be 30 degrees. I got to wear a jacket.
I'm just going to bundle up.
I'm telling you, it's going to feel like 20 there. I'm just letting you know. If I'm walking around,
if I had only had a green coat, I wouldn't wear I would wear a t-shirt if I had to. I wouldn't wear a green coat in Montana in the stadium. They're going to throw things at you.
I'm not trying to be.
Guys, he's going to be a big target too. You'll be the biggest guy in the stands wearing a green coat.
I'm not trying to be enemy number one. I just don't want to.
It sounds like you are. Sounds like you are.
I'm trying to give a disclaimer that it's not a favoritism towards Portland State that I might be wearing green.
Idaho State versus EWU.
Idaho State. Why would you pick? You know what? No, EWU.
All right,
I'm going EWU.
Mind games winning. Give me Potato State.
Who you?
Nichols versus Lamar. Maybe I want to go Nichols.
I'm going Nichols.
I'm going to go with Lamar. Lamar Odom's going to
another mistake for you. Why did I go
double?
This is why you go 5 for 10 because you pick Lamar.
Stink. Cry about it. Southern Utah versus Central Arkansas.
Jesus Christ. Southern Utah. I got to flip.
Really?
I got to flip.
Mind game it up. Cork all day. Abilene Christian versus Tarleton.
Abilene Christian.
Give me Abilene Christian. You don't want to flip on that one?
No, I don't want to flip on that one.
Weber State versus Idaho. What about this one? You want to flip on this one?
Idaho.
You got a lot of ground you got to cover.
Idaho.
5. You're gonna need to.
So I'm gonna need to get 3 next week. Pal.
I'm just gonna pick all the same outcomes as you.
Not if I'm doing a mid-show flip.
I'll keep flipping it. I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna keep flip. I'm gonna keep
allowed to flip.
I'm playing defense.
No, you're already playing defense with the pre-show mirror. Yep, the Wetzel stuff. This is exactly why he went last in FC estimates all the time because he knew that he could math it if he needed to. Oh yeah, race for the case.
Idaho versus Weber.
God, Idaho.
Montana State versus UC Davis. You sure you don't want to flip this one?
Montana State.
I don't know, man. This could be a close game.
You know what? You take UC Davis.
No,
then, pal.
no, I don't. I don't want them.
All right, I don't want them. I'll get my 3 next week. I'll get 4 next week.
I hope we put a bunch of games in there that are just going to be.
I hope so too. I can't wait.
Montana State for me as well. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. We'll talk to you later. Hit subscribe, 5-star review. Enjoy the rest of your week.